What's up guys, BTBS here, and I'm in a newly spawned world where I don't mind cheating my arse off to give you a Mystcraft for Void's Wrath. Void's Wrath? Yes, a Mystcraft for Void's Wrath tutorial. So if you know how the old version of Mystcraft, the one that's in Void's Wrath, if you know how that works, then this probably won't be very interesting to you. But if you don't know how Mystcraft works, or if you're looking for instructions on how to write a perfect, a stable age, what I'll do is I'll put an annotation up in the top right hand corner of the screen, and if you click that, it should take you to the point in the video where I show exactly how to write a stable age. So I'm just going to start out, it's going to be a Mystcraft tutorial, and then I'm going to go to Void's Wrath specifics. So to start off, you need a writing desk. Very simple, some planks, an ink sac, and a feather. Now, it can be any type of wood. It works with pretty much every single mod that adds wood as far as I can tell, and it's quite a nice block. When you place it down, it actually takes 2 spaces, its crafting table on top, and its bookshelf on the side. Now when you open it, you've got a few things in your inventory here. Now the next thing you're going to do is make a notebook. That's just 9 paper, no leather required, so it's basically just a stack of paper. You put your notebook in here. Now right, as you can see right now, you have absolutely nothing to do. So let's get just a couple of stands here. Book stands are an absolutely lovely little thing. Put them down like that. And let's go about our business. So, the first thing when Mystcrafting, always remember to make a linking book. Now you're going to need a lot of books and a lot of feathers for Mystcraft, various Mystcraft journeys. Die piggy! Damn it, your piggy! So you start out by crafting a linking book, and it will link you to the exact space you're standing, exactly where you're facing. Every time I use this linking book, it will teleport me to looking exactly like this, unless of course the environment around me changes. So all you have to do is craft a book in your inventory to get it, and when you open it, you'll notice I can't actually teleport inside the world I'm in. It can only be used to go into a different world. So let's make a different world. Start out with a book and a feather to get you a descriptive book. Now I'm going to show you the way this is normally done. What you do is you place the descriptive book down somewhere. Otherwise, if you don't place it, it just drops on the floor. So place your descriptive book down and just click in the black square. Now you'll spawn into a completely new world. Everything in this world will be 100% randomly generated. As you see, I'm taking random damage. I have some mining fatigue and nausea. Absolutely lovely. The world appears to be randomly setting on fire. We have ghasts. Oh no, they're icy. They're the ice guys. And I have to leave because this nausea is killing me. So you get your linking book out, and then you right click and click the black square to travel back to your original world. And then the potion effects, like the nausea, mining fatigue, you could even have poison, hunger, debuffs like strength ones. As soon as you leave that world, they stop being applied. Now you'll notice this linking book has a bunch of symbols in it, and these symbols describe the book. They describe the world. Sorry. So with your notebook in here, what you do is you place your descriptive book in, and then your notebook automatically learns everything you taught it. So you see, we learned 3 different biomes. We learned 1 biome controller, 1 lighting controller, 2 sky controllers, 1 terrain generation, 1 weather. 1 time and 1 weather. Now, the normal way to get hold of everything you want is to make several thousand, literally it can be several thousand if you're looking for a specific world modifier, linking books. Each one is completely randomly generated, and you can make pretty much as many as you want. I've never had a problem. I've never reached a limit of how many I can make, apart from problems which we'll go into later. So yes, basically I want to show you this quickly. If you have a book in your hand and you teleport to a world, where did I teleport from? Because my linking book was in here. Oh, that's so funny. I just didn't listen to the #1 rule. My linking book's on the floor here somewhere. Let me just go into creative quickly. Where is my linking book gone? Oh, yes, see, this is a problem. I have actually just accidentally done something which I would like to show you anyway. So when you're stuck in a world, let me see if some milk will get rid of these potion effects for a decent amount of time. No, they just start back up. Right, so when you're stuck in a hostile world without a linking book home, there is 2 ways of getting home. Wow, that's a big hole. Your first way is your starfishers, I believe they're called. And I will try and find one, but it's a very low chance that it's spawned in this world, and I want to get out of here. So, as you can see, this is an extremely bad world for everything. The nausea, the mining fatigue, just absolutely everything in this world is terrible. So I want to leave. So if you have the ability to use commands, you use TPX1, and that teleports you. No, my bad. TPX1 is the end. TPX0, my bad. Yeah. It teleports you to a dimension. It will teleport you through dimensions. So TPX allows you to teleport through dimensions, basically. And it can be extremely useful if you get stuck in a Mystcraft age and don't actually have a linking book to get yourself back. But this is what I was talking about with the book dropping on the floor. So the book is actually dropped on the floor, and it can be damaged by punching it. If it rains or if it gets caught on fire or goes in lava, the book can actually die. Let's just get a sword. Inferno sword, that'll show. So we can do some damage to the book and then it'll burn, and now it's gone. That book is just gone forever now, and I'm still in creative. So that book is gone, and because we don't have any way of getting back to that age, we basically can't. But that was okay because we don't want that age anyway. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to swap out that notebook for the creative OP cheat notebook. So if you spawn yourself in a notebook through creative mode, it automatically has every single symbol, or at least it should. Did I do something wrong? Let me try through here. Notebook. Oh yeah, that is exactly what I wanted. Let me just delete all of those quickly. Yep, I wanted all those notebooks completely. Yeah, here we go. Spawn it in through the NEI creative menu, and you automatically get given every single notebook, every single symbol. Oh, I'm so bad at this. So you get yourself a notebook through NEI, and it has every single symbol for every single controller. And I need a bed quickly. Actually, no, I don't. What am I talking about? I mean, I've got NEI active. Beautiful. So now that you have every single symbol, you're going to want to know how to write an age. And I know a couple of people have actually been asking about what I did on my multiplayer world, which was basically I created. Let's go with created because you can't pronounce that wrong, or unless you say created. So I created ages for each of the Twilight dimensions. So what you do is you take your descriptive book before you travel there, and you put it in here, and this allows you to write into it. So if we write checkerboard biomes and then put autumn woods and extreme jungle's edge, and just those two. So this is going to be an extremely unstable age, most probably. And let's get a linking book before we go back in there. There we go. So the only things we told this world was that it had to be checkerboard biomes, which means only 2 biomes get used, and we also told it the 2 biomes to use. And it's going to take a little bit of time to generate, it looks like. But if we zoom out here, it looks like it didn't even bother listening to the checkerboard biomes. So if you don't specify enough specific traits for your book, the game will automatically specify some of them for you. And it looks like we got eternal rain, and we also got large trees, and we got random explosions and damage, but we don't have much in the way of potion effect instability. But this is one of those things, just random explosions, setting things on fire. And generally the longer you spend in a world, the worse it gets. So let's just use the linking book here and travel back to the overworld. So if we take a look at this book now, you remember all we told it was checkerboard biomes and 2 biomes to use. It decided to fill in villages, chromatic sunset, starfishers, huge trees, dark, eternal storm, normal time, and flatland biomes. That is no good. So, you know the basics of Mystcraft. You know how to get to new dimensions, you know how to create them, you know how to keep your books safe. By the way, you can also put your books in a lectern, which is actually really easy to make, and I absolutely love them because they look really nice. So you put them down like so, and then you put your link book in them, and they sit like that, which just looks really cool in my opinion. I mean, they look okay in the book stands, but I like having them like this on the lectern, so you can have like shelves of books in a library. Anyway, so now we know how to write ages, we know how to travel between ages. Let's get a little bit more complicated. So, link modifier is what we want next. This is an extremely expensive block with a very, basically, no offense, lazy interface. Let's just see, is there a Mystcraft thing in here? No, there's not. Okay. Well, the link modifier is made with 8 blocks of diamond and a block of gold. So it's a completely vanilla crafting recipe, but it's expensive as hell. Now you're wondering, what does a link modifier do? So if we take any linking book, no, I don't think descriptive book works. I'm not 100% on that. But if we take a linking book, and you see we can't travel between dimensions. Now this, if we put the linking book in the slot, gives us several things we can do. We can rename it, so let's call it Poop Butts. So there we go, our book is now called Poop Butts. So you can rename it to say House or Mob Farm or whatever. And now you have several abilities. You can set it to intralinking, which means that you can link into the same world that you originally in, but you notice the book still fell on the floor, so that's no good. So let's fix that. Let's make the book not fall on the floor. Let's make the book follow us. So wherever we go, the book follows and stays. So it's basically follows and stays in the same inventory slot. That's kind of nice. Say you want someone to visit your house but you don't trust them. Let's give the book disarm. You see I have a sword in my inventory there. If I... Oh look, I have no items at all. And that even overwrote the disarm ability. It took all my armour off, and it even overwrote the whole, the following ability. So by the way, if you want to pick up a book easily, just shift right click with an empty hand. Otherwise you can right click and pull the book out of the inventory there like that. So the disarm ability removes every single item from the player before they travel. So it can be a nice way of moving people around if you don't trust them. Personally, I hate disarm. What else we have here? We have generate platform. So if we use generate platform, whenever we teleport to wherever it was, it will generate a platform underneath us. Hello, Mr. Pig. I just saw that pig spawn in. So let's get ourselves a shovel. Let's get a nice fast shovel and just dig out this here. So imagine, I don't know, let's say imagine lava. So imagine, imagine lava. You've just had a bit of a problem back at your base and had to run away. There's some lava or some fire, and now you want to return to your base, or you made a linking book in midair, whatever. Why isn't the generate platform working? That should work. Oh, that's a problem. I did set it to generate platform. Does it need a specific block to generate the platform with? Typical. Let me just heal myself. Okay, why didn't the generate platform work? I don't know, but the generate platform is fairly self-explanatory. I'm not sure why it's not working, but usually it just generates a platform underneath the player. So you'll normally spawn on, say, a single piece of cobblestone or stone right underneath you, saving you from most bad things, but for some reason it didn't work, so maybe don't use that one right now. And another one that's quite interesting, maintain momentum. Now you may think this is kind of pointless, and it is. I mean, in all fairness, it is. So let me just show you that that's a bug there, right, by the way. You can take your armour off and still fly. So if you, say I was falling, which I'd have to land to do. So if I was falling and I used this link book, I maintain all my momentum when I hit the floor on the other side. And this isn't really very useful for just normal handheld linking books, but it's going to come into play for some more exciting stuff. Let me just regather these materials here. Hey, my poop butts! Poop butts, come to me. And let me just put my armour back on. So, I've showed you basic book maintenance, creation, and oh, what am I doing? I want to turn off everything apart from interlinking and following as the only things I normally have. Does it? Oh, I didn't know that. I can stay in there. Huh. So now it will bring us back here. No matter what, the book will follow us. Always facing the same direction. Lovely. Absolutely love it. So, you know, consider just this on its own. For the cost of 8 diamond blocks and a block of gold, you can go mining. And as soon as you're finished mining, you could say create a link book where you were, and then link home, and then intralink and then just upgrade your link book that you made, and then you could just travel back there. And it costs nothing to actually use this block, only costs to make it, and it is a relatively expensive thing early game. But by the time you've got the by the time you should have the ability to instantly teleport back and forth between any two locations, you should have at least, you know, 64 diamonds. 8, 9, it's not 64, is it? It's more than that. Yeah, it's 60, 70 odd. It's a lot of diamonds. Anyway, the next thing I want to show you is a item that randomly spawns in certain Mystcraft ages called crystals. So these things, let me just get a few more of them. How about an infinite stack? 1 second. There we go. Infinite stack. So these things look really nice, and they generate in sort of arm-like structures that come out of the ground, and they just sort of generate in big lumps. I mean, they can come in the water, but they obviously, if you want to get these crystals, you'd have to learn the ability naturally. I think it's in terrain generation. No, terrain modifiers. Crystals. You'd have to learn it by finding a world that had them. But these can be mined with a pick, or I believe by hand fairly quickly. Yeah. And these have a couple of uses. One, they just look really nice. I need a crafting table. Crafting table. So let's just put a crafting table down. So these can actually be used for not only crafting recipes, but building. So as well as looking very nice, they have an actual use. So let me just get a few of them here. If you place 8 of these like that, you can get yourself an item called a book receptacle. And if you place these down in the floor, you can actually make portals of almost any shape. I haven't really found any limit to the shape of a portal. So if I place these like this, then this block in the middle, when activated, will become a portal. So let's see, if we put the book receptacle right there and plug our linking book into it, what's going to happen? We teleport to exactly where we were. So this allows us to make portals, and you can make ridiculous shaped and sized portals. I mean, if I can get myself, let me just say 100, and then give me some crystals. So if I go, say, up like this, and then, oh, that was a derp. Come on, break. Man, this takes forever when you're flying. I recommend a tool of some kind. They generally work a lot better. So very simply, just make yourself some kind of 4-sided enclosed shape. Take yourself a book receptacle. Padow. And of course the book drops on the floor. And then just plug your book receptacle in, and plug your book in, and now we have an enormous portal. And these can be made, I honestly don't know how big they can be made. Wow, that was a lot louder. But it allows for a lot of creativity. It allows for portals that don't just look like the normal portals, you know, and it allows for some very interesting things, because any mob that goes inside this portal will travel. So this pig, for instance, if I were to move him in there with what do pigs eat? Carrots. Carrots. Hey pig, you like this, don't you? Come on, over you come. Come through the portal. Oh, outwitted by a farm animal. Come on, Mr. Piggy. Come on. You know you want to. No. Ah. Oh, just take my word for it. I don't have the portal gun, so I can't easily move mobs around. But any mob or even item that travels through here. See, you heard the noise. And what are you doing over here, Piggy? See, my carrot travelled through the portal. And let's just do it with a bucket of water, just to prove. Because I had some carrots before. Hey, look, bucket of water. So anything that travels through the portal will... anything at all, apart from liquids, will be able to travel through the portal. And if you had, say, maintain momentum on there, you could make, you could take several spawners, put portals underneath them, have all of the portals linked to the same place by creating multiple link books just by standing still. So if I just did this, I can now make 4 portals that all link to this space. I think you may need to make them all interlinking though, so that's just going to take a little bit of time. You could make multiple portals that all link to the exact same place, and you could take, say, 10, 20, 90 spawners and have all the mobs fall down and then come into one perfect 1 block space. So it does allow for some very compact and amazingly efficient mob grinders. Now, there's one more thing to go over before we go to the final object on our board. If I get myself a linking book, not a linking book, descriptive book, sorry, and put it in here, you may notice there is not this many biomes. Now, if you just look, we have Arcana, Arxane, Augite, Autumn Woods. So what this does is, if you have the right plugins installed, it automatically recognises every biome from every mod you have installed, such as the Augite is from Divine RPG, the Autumn Woods is from, oh god, what's it called now? More Biomes XL, something like that, Extra Biomes XL. And so basically, if you were lucky, you could create a random age and you could get, say, Dravite. Where is Dravite? There, Dravite. You could get Dravite without even having to get the items to travel to the Dravite dimension. And you could very simply write yourself an age. Now, that was just a quick little thing. What I want to go over next is the creation of a stable world and what instability is. So you've already seen a good look at what instability is in the this age here. This has some instability with the random fires and explosions. There's not my overworld linking book going for a little bit of a run. So I'd like to show you some other things. So if I search Decay, Black Decay is the only one that appears. Okay, let's just place it and see if it works. No, it doesn't. I wonder if I can actually bring up Red Decay. It might be called Rot, Red Carpet, Wall, Block. I really should have looked for this stuff beforehand. It doesn't look like I can give myself the blocks anymore, so I may just have to create a few random Mystcraft ages until I get them. So if I just create a few here, and just break that. Yeah, shovel! So if we go to a couple of random ages, and just see if we can actually find the decay of which I speak, because it's going to be a bit boring if I can't find the things I want to warn you about. This is a horrible age. Nausea. Oh, yeah, random fire. Good thing it happens to be in an ocean. Oh, this isn't even an ocean, it's a river. And the squids are dying. There's not going to be any good decay in this world. Good thing I've got these overworld linking books. Let me take that good overworld linking book back, just in case. Oh man, absolutely hate negative potion effects. Absolutely terrible. So that world didn't seem to have anything we were interested in. Let's go to this one. So you'll notice it takes a little bit of time when generating a world. That's just like it takes a little bit of time when you first create a world as well to get everything working. Oh wow, we have hunger 4, so we're not going to last long in this world at all. I'm hoping for a world without nausea. That would be really nice. Go away. Kill the player. I need food as well, don't I? Let's get me some steak. I like steak. Steak's good. Oh, healing the player heals my hunger as well. So we'll take just we'll just look into another couple of random worlds before we find, before I write a world that I can guarantee will be bad. So here we have a cave world. These are quite bad. If you know what a cave world is, you've probably been to the Nether. So you know how the Nether spawns with basically you're inside a giant cave. The only difference here is that there's no bedrock above you, so you could leave if you wanted to, but these create enormous lag because of the amount of lighting they have to render. I think I see a rainbow over there. Yeah, these create enormous lag because of the amount of lighting that has to be rendered. And you often get, as you see here, patches of gravel spawning in the ceiling. So, you know, they have to fall, and that's going to cause a lot of lag. I just generally wouldn't recommend these. What the hell is this? Oh, that's from the ruins mod. Spawns a bunch of trapped ruins. Okay, well I can't find what I'm looking for, and that's lagging my game out. So we're going to come back to the overworld here, and I am going to force write a bad world. So, do not do this, because it will give you a very, very bad world. In fact, I'm kind of worried about how bad the world's going to be. So let's make it a beach, and you see I said single biome. I'm going to put multiple beach modifiers in there, and then a couple of plains modifiers for good measure. So that is a good way of creating instability in a world. I'm going to also give it bright and standard lighting. That's going to create instability, and I'm going to give it several white sunsets as well as several green sunsets. Now the terrain features, if I give it crystals, glowstone crystals, let's see what else gives it, that'll do for now. And then if we go into terrain generation, make ourselves a flat world, and if we change the time to eternal dusk and then several eternal days, and then go into weather and give it multiple no weathers. Now world modifiers, this is where you could spend literally weeks trying to get. So in here there are several things. I'm not 100% what accelerated actually does. Charged sets random fires with lightning. Dense ores is absolutely insane, and that's how we're going to make a completely corrupt world. Meteors, actual meteors come down from space, they hit the terrain, it explodes and sends ore everywhere. Then you have scorched surface, which you get random fires spreading out across the surface. You have Skylands, which creates an end style biome, so it's a floating island. And then you have spontaneous explosions, which is rather self-explanatory. So I'm going to just call this one Do Not Go. Do not go. And if my game crashes, you'll have to forgive me, because this is the sort of thing that could crash a game fairly simply. So here we go, we're going to go to Do Not Go, and we're probably going to have some pretty big problems extremely early. Oh wow, so this is a very corrupt world. I can't move. The entire world is being blown up around me, and I can't even show you what's going on out there. So we have, you know, mining fatigue in there somewhere at a level that's so high I can't punch sand. Let's see about if I use this augite shovel. Nope. So this is a world that will quickly become unusable, and if you look at the map you can see it already becoming destroyed beyond all use. So I'm going to leave that age as soon as possible. Do Not Go is a perfect example of a book you would throw on the floor in the rain. and then hit with a fiery sword just for good measure. So we may have wrote that age a little bit too badly. So let's go and just put a dense ores in there and then let it generate the rest of the age itself. So dense ores, is that the one? That is the one with dense ores. Dense ores creates ridiculous clusters of ores, say 100 diamond ore blocks that could spawn one block under the surface. But it also adds a huge amount of instability to the world. So if you're looking to make a mining world, dense ores might not be what you want. And as you can see, we've already got a cave world, which is bad, and this is what I wanted to show you. This is Decay, and here we only have mining fatigue, which is brilliant, so I can definitely show this off. Let's see if dense ores has taken effect anywhere. I don't really see much. So let's take this shovel and head down. No, okay, let's get us a pickaxe. And if you're going to just cheat yourself in a good pickaxe, it might as well be the best. Oh wow, yeah, we have so much mining fatigue that we can't even destrolish stone with this. We have mining fatigue of 3, is that all? Mining fatigue is more powerful than I thought. So I didn't come here to show you dense ores, I came here to show you this. This is corruption, or decay. In fact, I can tell you exactly what it is if I turn on my highlights. This is decay, yes, blue decay, and then you have red decay. In fact, if I turn off my mini-map, you can see it even easier. So there's red decay, this is blue decay, and this is what is going to absolutely destroy your world. The decay can be mined, takes a while even without mining fatigue, but it usually grows faster than you can tame it. So if I just go creative quickly here and get myself some decay. Now if we were to place some decay, screws me, bugger off, like so, that you just noticed it spread there. Decay is dangerous. Decay is hunger, it is pain, it is horror. It will spread and spread and spread and eat up every single block it can until there is nothing left in the world but decay. And you know, it has normally it has negative effects, such as certain decay when you stand on it gives you poison and hunger and blindness and slowness and mining fatigue. Pretty much all the bad things you could imagine from potion effects can come from decay, and as you can see here, it spreads extremely rapidly. So the few blocks of decay in the air are going to take a lot longer to spread because there's nothing for them to eat. But when we have, oh, we have random blocks of sand spawning in the ceiling here. Interesting. But when there is something for the decay to actually eat, like actual blocks, it spreads incredibly quickly, but the decay in the air can grow on its own, so it doesn't have to have something to actually eat. It can just sort of create more of itself. And trust me when I say, if you have decay in a world, you leave as soon as possible. Not only does it create immense amounts of lag, because if, say, this decay went 5,000 blocks in that direction, when I updated one piece of it, every single piece of it updates and starts to grow faster, as far as I'm aware. So it can basically update every single chunk that it's in, and if it's, you know, if there's a hell of a lot of it, it's going to cause you some really big problems. So the main problems with worlds are a few certain generations, such as spontaneous explosions or meteorites. Then we have decay is a very big problem, and of course potion effects. So let's go back to the overworld and get to the point everybody wants to know about. How, oh how, oh how do you write a stable age? Now I have taught myself how to do this through trial and error. Now before I go into the stable age, I'd just like to say, the way Minecraft works, certain parts of a world are loaded at all times. These are called the spawn chunks. And I'm not sure exactly how many chunks it is, but if you create 1,000 ages and travel to them, every one of those ages is going to have a small part of it loaded at all times. And if you go up into the the F3 menu, you can see up the top you have certain things, chunk cache, and then you have your chunk updates and the amount of chunks and entities and particles. If there are too many chunks loaded at once, it will lag your game, lag your server, it can crash your server, it can cause immense problems. So most people choose, when Mystcrafting, to find out how to make a stable age and then use a cheat book to get the right symbols. If you don't, more power to you, but I do not envy your CPU load. Now, writing a stable age. So you start off with your descriptive book and you pop it right in the table there. So you need an idea of what you want to make. So I'll give you a perfect example. I made farming ages for my Void's Wrath multiplayer world, and I won't let anybody else touch the OP cheat book because I don't trust them to write a stable age, but I trust myself. So the first thing you're going to want to do is choose what you're going to do. So if I'm going to make a Dravite farming age, we would use single biome because we only want the one, and then we select the biome, and this tells it only one biome, and that biome is Dravite. So now we move on. Lighting. Standard lighting is the easiest one to handle, but I tend to go for bright so that you don't need torches or night vision potions while mining. That does give a small amount of instability. Now the sky, you want to be as specific as possible when writing a book. So if we go normal fog, normal sky, red clouds, and white sunset. We've specified fog, cloud, sky, and sunset. That is one of each of the four, and that should give us a variable large amount of stability. Now terrain features, ideally caves, mine shafts, dungeons. What else do we have in here? Ravines, strongholds, villages. I think strongholds may give a small amount of instability, but most of these reduce the instability in a world. So choosing stuff that would spawn in a normal world makes your world less likely to be unstable. Now, when you're choosing your terrain features, it's really up to you. Void can be nice for a building age. Cave world, I generally wouldn't use unless I was making, you know, a sort of secret base underground. But I would generally go for standard or flat. Flat is easier for farming. Now, time. Normally, I would choose a normal time or slow time. Slow time gives a small amount of instability. Let's go normal time. And then weather. No weather is the obvious choice unless you want weather for some reason, like you need rain for some kind of crazy contraption you're building. I'm not sure if I don't think any of the weather symbols actually give instability. Now, world modifiers is where you want to stay the hell away from. Accelerated, charged, dense ores, meteors, scorched surface, and spontaneous explosions all give huge amounts of instability. Say if on a scale of 1 to 100, the adding what was it we added earlier? I think strongholds adds a little bit. If so, it would be 1. If that adds 1, dense ores adds 100. So ideally you'd like to stay away from these. Unless you're making a mining age, then you can put 1 dense ores and be extremely specific, and then you still probably won't use that age for long. So what we have written so far should be at least should be a stable age, and I am pretty damn sure it will be. So always make sure you've got your linking book, and let's travel on through. It's going to lag the first time you go in there because it's generating the entire world, and if we take a look around, we have no, let's just go out of creative to prove this, we have no potion effects, and I don't see any decay on the surface. In fact, let me turn my mini-map on and get a proper good look. I do not see any decay at all on the surface. I don't see any potion effects. I don't see any explosions or thunder. So the basic trick to writing a very stable Mystcraft age: stay away from the ridiculously awesome fun stuff, which is a shame, but you saw the world I created where I might as well have been dead. And so to create a stable world, you want to stay away from the ridiculously fun stuff, and you want to make sure that you are specific as possible. So if you choose single biome, only give it 1 biome. If you choose, say, huge biomes, choose 5 or 6, because the more biomes you add, the stabler the world will become. and always choose, you know, lots of lighting things, so you know, sky, clouds, sunset, and fog, and you should generally come out with a pretty stable age. And if we just check this here, it looks like, yeah, there we go. We writ the age so perfectly. Mystcraft didn't add any extra symbols. Occasionally, you'll get an extra symbol added, and it may add instability to your age. But I think that's going to about cover it for now. So this has been a Mystcraft Spotlight, and specifically Mystcraft for Void's Wrath. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope I've managed to help some people with all this information. And remember, Mystcraft can be dangerous, but it can also be fun. Hey, a skeleton. That skeleton really just shoot that Cyclops. Anyway, peace out, guys.